one more thing too. I don't think I was gonna say this in my last video, but it just occurred to me now at a point that I could have said or should have said. So going back to the whole Russell Future thing, you would think that a man that is no longer in a relationship with a woman that has moved on in a relationship and has a new man, has a husband or something like that, that is actively involved in taking care of a child and doing good for him, would be thankful that there's somebody in the world in a relationship that genuinely cares for his child. And I think this goes back to the fact that a lot of men don't appreciate fatherhood. A lot of men, and Corey Holcomb actually spoke to this some months ago too, and he really said a lot. It really made us look bad as men, specifically fathers. I would think that if you was a father, you would feel some type of way about that for sure. But a lot of men that are fathers apparently don't really care about the kid if they don't have access to the mother in the way that they want. Now, don't get me wrong, I get that. I know like a lot of a lot of fathers still take care of their kids and they're still well invested in their kid amicably and passionately without having like any type of sexual access to the mom. I get that, understand that, cool. But when Corey Holcomb said what he said about fathers not giving a fuck about the kids if they don't like the mother, that is exactly true. And here's what I mean. A lot of men trap women, and they only trap them so they can always have access to the mother. Like, again, we always talk about, women trapping men. In a world where women don't always have rights to their bodies or rights or access to health care and stuff like that, in this case, abortions, you have to understand that getting a woman pregnant can essentially be it's already a lifelong contract, but it's a lifelong contract to somebody that you'd rather not be tethered to if you could avoid it. Excuse me, I'm hungry. Sorry. Knowing that a lot of men don't really care for the kid, they only care about the mom, goes along with the fact that men in general, maybe it's a little too broad to say men in general, but a lot of these motherfuckers that complain about these men stepping up into stepfather roles or being a father and having more children with a woman that already has maybe 2 or 3 kids, you can tell that, one, first of all, they don't think that a woman that has 2 or 3 kids is worthy of finding a man that's going to be taking care of her or whatever, which is why they have such issue with Russell and Sierra. And she only got like, 1 kid or something like that? A lot of men depend on the fact that kids and, quote unquote baggage are supposed to diminish a woman's value. And the fact that a quote unquote high value man like Russell, despite the fact they call him corny, found value in her and chose to give her an honor that men quote unquote control access to and gatekeep, i.e. marriage, they find that to be egregious and supposedly a violation or whatever, which is why you see so many of them so upset at that dynamic, including Future. But going back to my original point, you would think that a man that had a child with a woman that was no longer in a relationship with would be glad that there's a man that is willing to peacefully take care of his child. Like, do you understand how much more well taken care of like Future Jr. could be if his father was being a petty ass bitch? And I don't really feel bad saying it, but it's like saying, like, bro, you have how many other kids that get taken care of to the extent that Russell does? And I think what it really is not the fact that he actually cares about his son to the extent that he's trying to make it seem. It's more so about the fact that he doesn't have access to Sierra in the dynamic that he'd want to. Which, again, I think it goes back to what Corey Holcomb said. He said most fathers are not going to give a fuck about their kids if they don't care about the mother, or if they're not getting access to the mother the way they want to. Which, again, I think this feeds into the fact that a lot of men do not care to respect or care about fatherhood, parenthood really, but fatherhood, because it's not how they feel like fatherhood should be. They feel as if single mothers are single mothers because of their mistake and they should be punished for their mistake. Not acknowledging the fact that that dynamic oftentimes comes with fathers that feel that men with men that feel the same way that Corey Holcomb described. Because that woman wants to deny him access, he doesn't necessarily care to be there for that child because, okay, well, you want to deny me access, well, fine, fuck it, you can take care of this kid by yourself. Which I think, again, if we really gonna be honest about it, that's really what a lot of this is, for those men that don't want to take care of their kids. Sometimes, I think that's the issue a lot of times, but then, you know, of course, there's just men that don't really care. Like, they could probably still be involved with the mother or whatever, but that don't necessarily mean they're gonna be involved with the kid. So, ain't really a set, you know-how, like, method to it. But there is definitely, I guess, information or patterns that trend a certain way, if you will.